Your credit score isn't just a number. It determines how much you pay for loans, whether or not you can be approved for a credit card, and even if you can rent an apartment. If it's too low, it could be costing you thousands of dollars every single year.
But the good news? You can improve it, and we're going to show you how. In this video, we're breaking down how credit scores work and how you can boost yours fast.
Your credit score is a number that determines how reliable you are at being able to pay back money. Your lenders, landlords, and even some employers use it in order to determine if you are a trustworthy person to give money to.
What's typically used is a FICO score, which ranges from 300 to 850. Lenders are typically looking for a score above 600 to approve you for a loan or a credit card. The higher your score, the more favorable loan terms and interest rates you'll be able to secure.
Let's say, for example, if you have a higher credit score, you can get an interest rate of around 8% on a $20,000 loan. On the other hand, someone with a lower credit score could get the exact same loan, but at a higher interest rate. Let's say 10%, for example. Person 1 would pay around $1,600 in interest every single year, but person 2 would pay $2,000 in interest every single year. So having a lower credit score is costing person 2 an additional $400 a year in just interest.
There are 5 key factors that impact your credit score. 35% is based on your payment history. This is the most important factor. If you've paid your bills on time, that's a huge win for your score. If you've missed some payments, even by a few days, this can hurt you significantly.
30% is based on how much debt you owe, and this isn't the dollar amount that you have outstanding, but instead how much of your credit limit you're using. Let's say you have a $5,000 credit limit, but you're using $4,500 worth of it. That's 90% of your credit limit that's outstanding, and this can be a really big red flag for lenders.
15% is about the length of your credit history, so the longer you've been building up credit, the better.
10% is based on your credit mix, and this is based on whether or not you have a mix of credit cards, loans, and mortgages, or if it's all just credit cards. And the last 10% is based on new credit inquiries. You may be wondering why when you apply for a new credit card or loan, your score takes a temporary hit. This is because it's a hard inquiry on your credit and also a decrease in the average age of your credit. But over time, as you use it, it will begin to grow over time. By paying on time, keeping your utilization low, and having a mix of credit types, your credit score will grow more than what it originally dropped by. There are many simple strategies to boost your credit score over time, but by far the easiest is making timely payments. Sometimes life can get really busy and things can slip through the cracks, but even just one missed payment can be really detrimental to your credit score. If you have to, set up automatic payments or reminders, and always make sure to pay at least the minimum. But if you have the capital to pay more, make sure you pay it off as soon as possible so that interest doesn't accrue. One important tip, don't use new debt to pay off old debt. It may seem like a quick fix right now, but over time you're just going to be paying more in interest and lowering your credit score even more. As we mentioned before, you have to keep your utilization rate low, and this is the percent of your credit limit that you're using. So if you have a $1,000 limit, but a $500 balance, you're using 50% of your available credit. We recommend keeping it below 30%, because if it's any higher than that, it signals to lenders that you're overextending yourself and you may not be able to pay that balance back. If possible, pay off your balance before your statement date to keep your rate low. And if you're able to, increase your available credit limit. And this lowers your rate over time without having to spend any extra money. And lastly, use a credit building tool. If you're new to credit or are building it back up, a secured credit card could be good for you. It requires a deposit which serves as your credit limit and allows you to build your score up over time. And there are other tools like credit builder loans or simply becoming authorized on a family member's card that can help you build your score over time. These tips aren't just theoretical, and you can start working on them today. Building credit isn't something that just happens overnight, but with consistent effort, you can set yourself up for a better financial future. And if you're currently going through a financial setback, just take it one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is your credit.
There are many misconceptions about credit scores. One of the most common being that if you check your credit score, it will lower it. This is not true. When you use an app like Credit Karma, it's a soft inquiry, and this has no effect on your credit score. Lenders or landlords, when they check your credit score, they're using a hard inquiry, and this will temporarily lower your credit score. So feel free to check your credit regularly. It won't hurt your score, and it'll give you a better idea of where you stand. Also, closing accounts will not boost your credit score. it'll actually have the opposite effect. When you close an old account, you're reducing the amount of available credit you have and increasing the utilization rate. Keeping your accounts open, especially if they're in good standing, can actually boost your score by increasing your overall available credit.
It may take some time, but by following these strategies, you will see improvement, and you will open yourself for better financial opportunities in the future.
Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and also check out our website for more resources. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
We've got plenty more videos coming your way, so stay tuned. And remember, small steps today lead to big wins tomorrow.